Today is Monday, June 1st. Welcome to Big Book Daily. My name is Rob. I am an alcoholic. It is a thrill, honor, and joy to be here with you today as we journey through the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous and the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions. Today out of the Big Book, we are beginning a new chapter, Chapter 10, to Employers. We'll read page 136. Out of the 12 and 12, we are finishing up Tradition 6. We'll read the bottom of 158 and 159. And of course, we'll read the 24 hours a day and daily reflection. So with that, hope y'all are doing well this beautiful morning, my friends. Life is good over here. We're in a new month. And by the end of this month, if I'm doing my math correctly, by the end of this month, we will be done with the Big Book and 12 and 12. And I think we're even going to begin a couple of different recovery readings beginning in July, if nobody objects. I was thinking Courage to Change and then maybe the NA One Day at a Time, along with the Big Book and the 12 and 12. So if you know any friends that might actually benefit from this podcast and the daily kind of just routine of going through things one page at a time, we will be circling back around to the very beginning a month from now. So that's exciting. I'm excited to get back at it. You know, it's kind of neat. I love doing this podcast. But anyway, let's go ahead and get to the good stuff. Out of the Big Book, we are on Chapter 10, to Employers. We'll read the first page of it today, page 136. Among many employers nowadays, we think of one member who has spent much of his life in the world of big business. He has hired and fired hundreds of men. He knows the alcoholic as the employer sees him. His present views ought to prove exceptionally useful to businessmen everywhere. But let him tell you. I was at one time assistant manager of a corporation department employing 6,600 men. One day my secretary came in saying that Mr. B insisted on speaking with me. I told her to say that I was not interested. I had warned him several times that he had but one more chance. Not long afterward, he had called me from Hartford on 2 successive days, so drunk he could hardly speak. I told him he was through, finally and forever. My secretary returned to say that it was not Mr. B on the phone. It was Mr. B's brother, and he wished to give me a message. I still expected a plea for clemency, but these words came through the receiver. I just wanted to tell you that Paul jumped from a hotel window in Hartford last Saturday. He left us a note saying that you were the best boss he ever had, and that you were not to blame in any way. Another time, as I opened a letter which lay on my desk, a newspaper clipping fell out. It was the obituary of one of the best salesmen I ever had. After 2 weeks of drinking, he had placed his toe on the trigger of a loaded shotgun. The barrel was in his mouth. I had discharged him for drinking 6 weeks before. Out of the 12 and 12, we're on Tradition 6. An AA group ought never endorse, finance, or lend the AA name to any related facility or outside enterprise, lest problems of money, property, and prestige divert us from our primary purpose. And if you recall from yesterday's reading, we were at a point where they had this distillery company wanted to have a spokesperson who was very, very tied into AA to be their public relations person and to be in front of everybody. And all of a sudden we started talking about, at first it sounds pretty good, but to this AA representative's credit, he goes to New York's AA headquarters asking, is there anything against the tradition saying that I can't do this? Well, after some time they thought about it, and there were some problems. Breaking anonymity, getting tied to education in some way. It'd be bound to appear that AA was now backing education, liquor trade association style. So we're starting to see the chinks in this plan here. So let's go ahead and finish off the last 2 pages of this chapter. The minute we saw this compromising fact for what it was, we asked a prospective publicity director how he felt about it. "Great guns," he said. "Of course I can't take the job. The ink wouldn't be dry on the first ad before an awful shriek would go up from the dry camp. They'd be out with lanterns looking for an honest AA to plump for their brand of education. AA would land exactly in the middle of the wet-dry controversy. Half the people in this country would think that we'd signed up with the dries. The other half would think that we'd joined the wets. What a mess." "Nevertheless," we pointed out, "you still have a legal right to take this job." "I know that," he said, "but this is no time for legalities. Alcoholics Anonymous saved my life, and it comes first. I certainly won't be the guy to land AA in big-time trouble, and this would really do it." Concerning endorsements, our friend had said it all. We saw as never before that we cannot lend the AA name to any cause other than our own. "24 hours a day, June 1st. AA thought for the day. Some things I do not miss since becoming dry. That overall awful feeling physically, including the shakes, a splitting headache, pains in my arms and legs, bleary eyes, fluttering stomach, droopy shoulders, weak knees, and a flushed complexion. Also facing my loved ones at breakfast. Also composing the alibi and sticking to it. Also trying to shave or put on makeup with a shaky hand. Also opening up my wallet to find it empty. I don't miss these things, do I? Meditation for the day. You are born with a spark of the divine within you. It has been all but smothered by the life that you are living. That celestial fire has to be tended and fed so that it will grow eventually into a real desire to live the right way. By trying to do the will of God, you grow more and more in the new way of life. By thinking of God, praying to Him, and having communion with Him, you gradually grow more like Him. The way of your transformation from the material to the spiritual is the way of divine companionship. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may tend the spark of divine within me so that it will grow. I pray that I may be gradually transformed from the old life to the new life. Daily Reflection, June 1st. A changed outlook. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 84. When I was drinking, my attitude was totally selfish, totally self-centered. My pleasure and my comfort came first. Now that I am sober, self-seeking has started to slip away. My whole attitude toward life and other people is changing. For me, the first A&R name stands for attitude. My attitude is changed by the second A&R name, which stands for action. By working the steps, attending meetings, and carrying the message, I can be restored to sanity. Action is the magic word. With a positive, helpful attitude and regular AA action, I can stay sober and help others to achieve sobriety. My attitude now is that I am willing to go to any length to stay sober. All right, my friends, that concludes today's reading and some beautiful stuff. Man, going back to the 24 hours a day real quick. Well, actually, let me back up to the big book, talking about the seriousness of this disease, this malady, right? This employer had many, many employees, and I imagine some of the guilt that he probably felt letting some of them go that were in the throes of their addiction, right? I know people personally that were very, very close to taking their own lives in a blackout and things like that. I mean, this is a matter of life and death. So when we get sober, it really is a miracle. It's the miracle of sobriety. And I don't take that lightly. I have to remember that when I look around the room in the fellowships of AA or any other fellowship of recovery, I see people that are miracles. Or as Joe McCoy says, the miracle is Alcoholics Anonymous and we get to take part in it. And I might even add to that, the miracle is God working through Alcoholics Anonymous, but that's just a robology. But it's just beautiful stuff. But again, it is life and death sometimes. And I have to remind myself of that, not to downplay it. This is serious and I got to work it every day. And that does lead into the 24 hours a day. I think it was in here. You were born with the spark of the divine within you. It had all been smothered out by the life that you were living. That celestial fire has to be tended and fed so that it will grow eventually into a real desire to live the right way. That's interesting. Till eventually it grows into a real desire. So that tells me that at first, when we do these things, pray and meditate and work the steps, go to meetings, try to carry the message. When we do these things at first, maybe our heart's not in it. But we do it to survive, right? But I swear there seems to be a switch to where that action eventually leads to the right mindset. And as the Daily Reflection said, a changed outlook and perspective on life. That's where the fruit of the program and the steps really kick in, when we want to do these things. So yes, of course, some of it's out of obligation. Some of it's out of necessity, I should say, for us to maintain our own sobriety. But also, the more we do it, the more we serve, the more we want to, the more it feeds our soul. Or excuse me, I shouldn't say our soul. I should just say my soul. Stick to my own experience, right? Calm down, Rob. But it does remind me, the old saying, I heard this in a sermon one time. It's that we can't always trust our feelings. I heard a line, we don't rise to the occasion necessarily. We fall back on our training. Here's an example. Like for me, I love to lift weights. I've always loved lifting weights. I'm not a bodybuilder or anything like that. I'm no weightlifting guru, but I love to just listen to 80s metal or an audiobook and just lift some weights early in the morning. But I'm also a human being that is very fallible. And there have been times when my alarm has gone off. And I go, you know what? I need another recovery day. I need to stay in the bed. And of course, don't get me wrong. Recovery days are important, but I was milking it. I was definitely milking it. And then before long, it would be weeks before I'd enter the gym again. And I got to rebuild everything. However, when I act my way in the right thinking, when that alarm goes off or I wake up randomly at around 3 o'clock in the morning, just get up. That's the hardest part for me. Just get out of the bed. If I can get out of the bed, I got a chance. So I fall back in my training. Get out of the bed. Do your morning routine. Hit the gym. And every time I've done that, when I go to the gym, when I come back home, I'm thankful I did. I can't remember one time where I've regretted it. Same thing when I go to a meeting. After work, I'm exhausted. Oh gosh, I don't want to go anywhere. I just want to crash on the couch and watch true crime with my wife or something, right? But if I go, no, it's Tuesday night, Rob, come on now. Or it's Thursday night or Saturday night or whatever, evening I normally go. My routine is usually Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. It's like, get your hind end up and go. You're not going to regret it. And it's true. Even in the quiet meetings, it's true. I never walked away from a meeting going, phew. At least in my experience. Some probably have, but I haven't yet. When I go, phew, gosh, that was terrible. And if I were to have that kind of mindset, I think that says more about what's inside than the circumstances on the outside for me. But anyway, the whole acting our way into the right thinking, the action comes first. I think that was in the daily reflection. And then it was also in the 24 hours a day. The action comes first. And then eventually the right thinking will follow. Because if I wait for the right thinking, well, the action might never happen. Same thing with writing. I love to write. But I've noticed if I just wait for the inspiration to write, well, a lot of days it doesn't come. But when I've sat at the computer screen and just started randomly hitting keys, all of a sudden, boom, an idea strikes. Oh, okay, what if I did this and this and over here and this over here? Acting my way into the right thinking. Beginning with action, right? Beautiful stuff today. I needed to be reminded of it. But as always, my friends, I don't speak on behalf of AA, NA, Al-Anon, any other sect. I am just a joyful drunk in this lifeboat of recovery, honored to be here today. And if we are given another set of 24 hours, my friends, I sincerely look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow.